What if you were offered a deal? A deal for like infinite wealth, a supernatural power that could whisper the future right into your ear. That's the promise of the Karnapishakini. But, and there's always a but, right? As we're about to find out, this deal comes with a price that's way, way greater than money. So it really makes you ask a fundamental question, doesn't it? What is the true price of getting everything you've ever wanted? I mean, what would you be willing to give up? For the guy at the center of our story today, the answer to that question is going to come back to haunt him for the rest of his life. So let's get into it. An alluring deal. And, this whole thing kicked off the way these stories often do, with just pure desperation. Okay, so meet Gaurav. He's just unhappy, struggling, feels like he's going nowhere, but inside he's got these huge dreams. He wants it all. Wealth, success, basically all the happiness he thinks money can buy. And it was that really deep kind of gnawing desperation that just cracked the door open for the crazy decision he's about to make. So what was the offer? He was offered something called a siddhi, which is like a spiritual power, and it came in the form of a Karnapishakini. Now, she appeared to him as this absolutely breathtakingly beautiful spirit who promised to whisper the future in his ear. We're talking stock market tips, business deals, you name it, she knows it. And the price? So simple. All he had to do was accept her as his quote-unquote wife. So there he is, faced with this just stunningly beautiful being. Her eyes, her skin, everything about her was enchanting. And his desperation just completely takes over. He doesn't even hesitate. He immediately says, yes, I accept. He really believed he'd found the ultimate life hack, a partner who would bring him not just a ton of cash, but actual happiness. All right, so the deal is done. And guess what? Gaurav got exactly what he wished for. But as we're about to see, all that success, it came with this totally unexpected and just deep, deep emptiness. And it worked. Man, did it work. The Pistaccini's whispers were like a magic cheat code for life. He's dumping money into the stock market, starting all these ventures, and boom. In just a few days, he's a millionaire, then a multimillionaire. Suddenly, he's got the fame, the fortune, the status, literally everything he had ever dreamed of. But here's where it all starts to go wrong. With all that money and fame came this insane psychological cost. First off, he was completely alone. He couldn't meet anyone, couldn't talk to anyone. He was trapped in this bizarre, depraved cycle of eating raw meat and drinking alcohol just to keep the spirit happy. And the worst part? The whispers. They never, ever stopped. This constant, maddening stream of information stealing his sleep and just shredding his sanity. This right here, this is the turning point. This is where the dream officially flips and becomes this inescapable nightmare. Gaurav just can't take the weight of his so-called perfect life anymore. So imagine this. It's the middle of the night, and the Pishakshini is whispering yet another stock tip or future event into his ear, and he just snaps. He completely loses it. He's screaming at her, "Stop it, just stop all of this. I don't want to hear it anymore." That constant noise had basically become a poison, and all the wealth in the world just didn't matter. It gets even crazier. He starts begging her for his old life back. "Give me my poverty back," he says. Can you imagine? Because anything was better than this constant feeling of suffocation. The very thing he craved, all that wealth, had become his own personal prison. So how does she react to this rejection? Well, her beautiful face just melts away. The illusion is completely gone. And for the very first time, he sees her true, monstrous form, a terrifying creature with a horrifying face, and Gaurav is just paralyzed with fear. The game is totally changed. So now he gets it. He's trapped in a deal he can't break. And in total desperation, he goes looking for the one person who might have an answer. The guy who gave him this curse, this siddhi, in the first place. He's desperate for any way out. But what he finds is somehow even more horrifying. The man just lays it all out for him. "Dude, I was a victim too," he explains, how he also felt suffocated by the Pistaccini and had been desperately searching for someone, anyone, to pass the curse to. Think about that. Gaurav wasn't chosen for success. He was chosen to be an escape hatch. And that's when he learns the ironclad rule of the Karnapishakini. The curse can't be broken, it can only be transferred. The spirit is bound to you for life. The only way to get free is to find some other poor, desperate soul and trick them into taking your place. Okay, so what about the ultimate escape, right? Suicide. Nope. That's off the table too.
If he were to take his own life, the Piscicini would just capture and enslave his soul for an eternity of pure torment. There is literally no way out. Not in life and not even in death.
So this brings us to the final chilling chapter of the story, the never-ending cycle, and the tragic conclusion of Gorov's choice.
So he's trapped. He knows the rules of the game now. And he realizes he has to make this just impossible choice to save himself. So he starts wandering the city, but he's not looking for a friend anymore. He's hunting. He's looking for a victim, someone just as hopeless, just as defeated as he used to be.
And eventually he finds him, a man on the street, totally broken. And Garov walks up and says the exact same words that were said to him. "I have the cure for all your sorrows, friend." He makes the same offer, promises the same perfect solution, and just like that, the vicious cycle of greed and despair starts all over again. The victim has now become the predator.
And that's where we're left, with this really final, unsettling question. By passing on the curse, did Garov actually become free, or did he just trade one prison for another one? Is he now forever shackled to the knowledge that he condemned another soul to that same hell, all just to save himself? What do you think?